in a collaboration with Mayo Clinic, they just gave a conference on their progress on the liquid biopsy. Now, you may remember, and you should remember because it's a great thing, Exact Science makes the Cologuard test, where you can send them your species, known by other names, and they will tell you if there's colon tumor there. You don't have to go through that big thing where they ream up your ass anymore. So I made up a song for that, and it's like this. My name is Jan Jansen. My poop's in Wisconsin. They got the laboratory there. And then I had trouble finding the second verse. So anyway, they're reporting on the progress they're making with their liquid biopsy, where they take a sample of blood and do this testing on the blood using modern DNA techniques and various other things. And they can diagnose several tumors, and they added more tumors to the list they can determine. And in the instance of a mutation, they can recommend a particular drug that's advisable for that mutation. So that was very exciting, and the stock went crazy that day. Another topic, another item on this was a report that said 6 feet is 150 years old science. So what's the new science? Well, there's a process going on at MIT and Oxford where they're going to make a recommendation based on a device they're creating so that they can take in all the data from your surroundings, knowing where you are, who's there, how far apart they are from you. This is kind of amazing, and recommend what your distancing should be at that instant in time. So you don't have to do anything except get your cell phone upgraded by Dan, and then you can do this eventually. Next topic, 8 cities in Texas. Ouch. It's a me, boss. Now, you didn't think I was really going to give a talk about employment, do you? So it's a me, boss is actually, it's an amoeba. And in the water in 8 towns in southeast Texas, there is an amoeba called Naegleria fowleri, which is known, and it causes melting of the brain. Now, I have a problem with that because I'm not sure how you could ever tell if somebody's brain had melted in Texas. But anyhow, they found it in the water in the region of 8 towns near Lake Jackson, and they went in and they cleared it all, and they rescinded their do not use order. So they're over the hump on this. I guess they have a therapy for it, and they have a way of cleaning these pipes. Next topic, Finland goes to the dogs.
Oh,
So it turns out that they're training dogs to screen people at airports in Finland. And the dogs, they don't know exactly what the dogs are sniffing at, but they give them a specimen of the sweat, and within 10 seconds, the dog gives an answer. It makes a certain sound when it's COVID positive. And then they said that this had already been instituted in Dubai. Dubai is always ahead of everything in the modern world now, so they got there first. All right, next item is a shocking truth, Robin Hood versus the pros. Now, this is sort of far-fetched as a medical item, but since you spend a good deal of your adult life saving for retirement, you would want to know if a bunch of unemployed kids playing around on their computers on Robinhood, which is a new financial management service, if they could get results in trading that outperformed the professional money managers. And they did. And they did. And they studied the community of the Robinhood users versus the community of the financial pros, and they said it was relatively clear cut that you should go with kids that don't know anything about finance or markets. Next thing, the Florida docs got it. Okay, there's a not well-known Advent Ocala medical facility, and they believe, and they have announced online, that they have a 4-drug combination, which they call ICAM, which gives a 96.4% survival for COVID-19. And the reason they call it ICAM is it's a combination of previously known and approved drugs, an immunostimulant, primarily zinc, corticosteroids, anticoagulants, and a macrolide antibiotic similar to what we know as Zithro. And they have not done a trial, but they've simply treated all the patients coming in Florida in their region, and you know that's a hot spot, and 96.4% survived. So now they're going to do a small study. They had no fatalities. And I think the reason why this hasn't made the major news is that they don't have academic stature. And the world waits for some prestigious institution to do it. And during that time, you have to fork up money to get on the map. So they're going to do that. They're going to get a small trial planned and see where it goes. It would be very cool and also rather interesting if they were the ones that figured it out. And next and last topic is called engineered super enzyme bye-bye plastic. Now, you may know that the world is drowning in plastic. Apparently, people who tour the shorelines of the world say that there's crap floating up on the beaches everywhere, and only 10% is currently recycled. It takes nature 100 years to resolve the plastic. So they, at Portsmouth University, which I believe is one of those islands in the northern Atlantic, a part of the UK, they wanted to do better than this. So they fetched 2 enzymes which were originally discovered in Japan, and they modified them and linked them together. And this was then published in PNAS, which is the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. And they studied this new enzyme in the context of recycling plastic. And there are different kinds of plastic. I wasn't extremely aware of this, but they had success with PET and PEF, but not with PVC. So they believe this accounts for bottles and clothing and so forth. It's a pretty commonplace set of plastics. And they had a 6 times rate increase in the plastic recycling. And they said, well, this is not exactly good enough, but it's a start. It's a nice progress in the right direction. So they got the recycling down to 1 to 2 years.